Hello, allow me to give a brief overview of an evidence-based optimized learning with limited teacher intervention, which is the CVIF Dynamic Learning Program or DLP. Limited teacher intervention has been proven to be effective in normal times, but why limited teacher intervention in the new normal? Let me give some general remarks about this situation. The no face-to-face scenario could continue due to the following reasons as we go forward into the future. There is a continuing lack of classrooms, especially with a growing population, especially in big cities, and not all students might be accommodated inside the campus or inside the classroom, necessitating a no face-to-face learning. Another reason is that the pandemic can recur. For example, we know that fruit bats possess hundreds of viruses which are not known to science. And there could be recurring epidemics due to zoonotic diseases, which is arising from the contact between humans and animals. That's why we've had in the past decades SARS, swine flu, Zika, MERS, Ebola, COVID-19, and recently monkeypox. And with pandemics again arising, we go into a no face-to-face scenario. Of course, God forbid, there's the possibility of a nuclear war where everyone has to shelter in place. But then again, we should not sacrifice the learning of the students and even optimize the learning of students, even in a no face-to-face situation. So, what is our response? Our response is the CVIF Dynamic Learning Program, which was created since 2002. This has been proven to be robust against disruptions in education, robust against typhoons, earthquakes, and so on and so forth. The CVIF DLP is a systems approach to process induced learning, which is in contrast to teacher induced learning. It incorporates 21st century skills like critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, communication, and this has been applied to at the elementary, secondary, and college level. Now, in a snapshot, what is this CVIF DLP? The hallmark of the CVIF DLP is independent learning, such that 70 to 80% of the time of the student is going through independently learning activity sheets. They copy it for deeper learning. And this can be done with or without face-to-face classes. For the limited teacher intervention, which is only 20 to 30% of the time, if there is a no face-to-face scenario, then we substitute this, replace this with what we call the intervention learning activity sheets, which have been done during the pandemic period in our school at the CVIF, for example. Now, how do we contrast conventional learning with the CVIF DLP? With or without face-to-face interaction, the CVIF DLP is learning which is process induced, which means that the subject teacher prepares bite-sized learning activity sheets, one page, one concept, and these are given to each student so that they can go through independent learning. They copy and answer questions, and these are assessed by the subject teacher. So the main role of the subject teacher is now in the assessment, and this is done weekly, distributed to the students. In contrast, in the conventional method, everything relies on the teachers, and during a no face-to-face scenario, the burden of learning is transferred to the student since the modules given are normally designed for teacher lectures. So that's the contrast between the CVIF DLP, process induced learning, and the conventional method. Now, in a in the case of pandemics or in a no face-to-face scenario, what we have done during the pandemic is a weekly distribution and collection of the learning activity sheets. For those with internet connection, we do it online. For those without internet connectivity, we have 18 or so drop-off points where we distribute and collect the activities accomplished by the students during the week. And as a evidence based of the effectivity of the CVIF DLP, perhaps we can give this uh, last page. Um, the impact of CVIF DLP has been shown in the national achievement tests for 162 public high schools in the DepEd Bohol division, where there was a dramatic rise in the NAT scores, as well as in the DepEd division of Basilan, which involved 19 public high schools. Again, implemented in 2011, there was a dramatic rise in the National Achievement Test results. So, and this is independent learning. This is via the learning activity sheets, which are copied by hand by the students. Thank you very much for listening.